All right, so we are moving on to spreadsheet activity number 24. So we skipped 22 and 23 for reasons that don't really even matter. So anyway, this one, guys, is so simple, it's not even funny. It's if you know how to do the formulas and the sum function that we've been using, this next one is going to be really, really simple for you. You know how to do averages in math class, so this is going to make that pretty easy for you to do. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. There's a little bit of information on what averages are. So you're going to learn how to use the average function. And the average function is in the exact same spot that the sum function is, and I'll show you that in a couple of minutes. So I want you to go ahead and open up the Google Sheet, and I want you to set your, I want to move that around, yikes. I want you to set your page up exactly like this one. So you're not going to put anything in column A except for down here in A11, you're going to write the word average, and it's going to be bolded. Then I want you to copy these numbers down here in column B, these numbers in column C. Now, you're also going to be writing down numbers in column D and column E, and those numbers are going to be up to you. Okay, so those are going to be kind of like numbers that you decide on your own. So functions, if you're looking over here, functions are calculations the spreadsheet knows how to compute. We worked with the sum function way back in activity 12. The average function is like the sum function, and you're going to notice that in a second. So what it does is it automatically calculates the average of the numbers found in a range of cells. So if you don't remember what an average is, an average, and let me move this, and let me move my spreadsheet on the page for you. So an average is just basically you add up all the numbers and then divide by the number of numbers. So there are 10 numbers here. So you would add up these 10 numbers and then divide by 10. Okay. If there were only 3 numbers, then you'd add up the numbers and divide by 3. If there were 4 numbers, you'd add them up and divide by 4. So it's pretty straightforward. Average is something that we do in math a lot for different reasons. Let me move the instructions back over here. So the average function looks just like the sum function, except we replace the word sum with the word average. So we have our equal sign, the word average, which you have to spell the whole word, and then your parentheses, and then the range of the numbers. So we had our first number in cell A1 and our last number in cell A10. So it's A1 colon A10, closing parentheses. And the word average is not case sensitive, so you can write it in lowercase words. It doesn't, in lowercase letters, it doesn't matter. Okay, and that just kind of tells you what to do here. So here's how the spreadsheet's going to look. So in cell B11, you're going to type the average of B1 to B10. All right, then hit enter. Then we use our drag to the right skills that we practiced before Christmas time, and it does all the rest of the work for you. So let me show you how easy this is. Okay, so it says in this cell right down here, B11, you're going to type equals average, opening parentheses, and I've got B1 to B10. Now I'm just going to drag down because I'm lazy, and see how it does that automatically for me. It does B1 to B10, closing parentheses. When I hit enter, it gives me 48.8. Now, the other thing that it's going to ask you to do in this activity is to get rid of the decimal numbers. So we want to round this up to 49, right? So if you look up here, we have decreased decimal places and increased decimal places. We want to decrease the decimal place by 1. So if I hit this, I got to go in the cell, press decrease, and see that it automatically rounded it up to 49 for me. Okay. Now, the rest of the assignment, if you read the instructions, tell you that they want you to drag this over here. So this is going to automatically figure out the average of column C, column D, column E. Now look what just happened. So we have a problem. So we have a division by 0 error here. And the only reason for that, guys, is because there's no numbers here. So your job is to put in 10 numbers in column D and then 10 numbers in column E. And you know, what I would do, you could go like 3-digit numbers. And notice what it's doing at the bottom. It's automatically calculating the average as we go. So right now, this is, if I added these three numbers and divided by 3, that's the number I would get. There we go. So there's 10 numbers there. And maybe in the last column, I want to put 5-digit numbers or whatever. It's up to you. So you're going to all have different numbers in column D and column E. All right. That's the activity. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. You know, I did everything. I went through everything that you need to know, but you need to make sure that you're following the activities instructions right here for sure. Okay. It also explains the decreased decimal, increased decimal, that sort of thing over here. Okay. Oh yeah, and there's a couple of questions. Let's see here. Here we go. Number 10, using your mathematical order of operations, what would the formula look like that would compute the average of the numbers in cells B1 through B10 above? Use cell location to write the formula, but do not use the average function. So in cell A15, you're going to write the answer. So if you were doing this without a computer, how would you calculate the average numbers in cell B1 through B10? So let me zoom out a little bit here. Well, so basically, if I go into cell A15, right here, so if I wanted to calculate this, what would I do? Well, it would be 23 plus 45 plus, but you got to think about the order of operations in math. You have to use parentheses around these numbers, okay? And so I'm not going to do all of them, but let's say there were only 3 numbers. Then I would just do those 3 numbers, and then I'd have to divide, because it's average. I added 3 numbers, so now I have to divide by 3 because I added 3 numbers. That's what it would look like there, okay? So that's what they want you to do in the questions that are on the sheet here. So using your mathematical order of operations, the order of operations is the parentheses and the division sign that I just showed you. And then down here, what is the average advantage of using the average function over the formula in number 10? Okay, and let me show you that really quick here. So I'm going to redo this. So remember how we just went equals average? So here's the shortcut. Remember, I'm all about shortcuts. You go over here where the sum functions are. Okay, so there's, and look right under sum, we have average. So now I just click on average. It put everything in there automatically, and now I just hold my button down and select the range of numbers, and it does the same thing. Okay, and then we just continue on with our shortcuts. Drag that across, and then put our numbers in. All right, so that is that activity. It's pretty straightforward. Good luck.